go over and interview them and ask them questions. It's recording.
Oh, she's recording. She's going to.
Grandma, I'm recording that.
You're recording.
So what are you gonna ask them?
How long have you been married?
We've been married. It'll be 69 years in November, right after Thanksgiving.
What year did you get married?
What year did you get married?
In 1943, during the big war.
What year did you get married?
No, ask them.
That's
We know.
them, not me.
Ask what?
I videotaped that.
No.
Amelia, ask them. I say what was the big war?
What was your birthday?
Don't do that. Hold on, honey. Look through that.
You can't talk with your hands when you're holding a camera.
Yeah.
You don't have to look here and do this. Just look like that. Good. Ask them.
What year was your birthday in Grandma?
What year were you born?
I was born in 1925.
What year were you born in, Papa?
What year were you born, Pop-Pop? What year were you born?
June 1st, 1922.
1922, Pop-Pop was born. That makes him 90 years old.
They said.
He looks pretty good for 90,
Yeah.
doesn't he? Huh?
They said that they got married during the big war. Ask them what the big war was.
What was
The big war.
You gotta focus this, honey. Try and keep it steady.
The big war was World War II, and Grandma and Pop-Pop was going to be sent overseas to the Pacific. So he wanted to get married before he went overseas. And Grandma said, well, you have to ask my mother. So he asked my mother, and she said, you have to ask her father. So they asked so we had to ask my father.
What was your mother's name?
My mother's name was Amelia, but they called her Millie. She was a beautiful woman. And my father's name was Jacob.
And so what did Jake say when you asked him?
He said, if I didn't give you my blessing, you'd probably get married anyway. And I said, oh, no, we wouldn't. But we may have. So we got married. And about 6 weeks after we were married, Pop-Pop was sent overseas, and he was over there for 2 years. And we didn't have cell phones then, or we didn't have computers. We didn't even have TVs. So we couldn't even see what was going on over in the war at that time. We had to wait and read about it in the paper, or listen to it on the news, or see it in the movies, on the newsreels. And then we would see what happened.
Papa, which country did you fight?
Which country did you fight? That's what she asked.
What country did you fight during the war?
Japan.
Where was he?
What country were you in when you fighted them?
Say it loud, honey. Loud and clear.
Which country were you in when you fighted them?
What country were you in when you were fighting? Where were you fighting?
I was fighting in New Guinea and Mauritania and the Philippines. That's it.
What
What else can you ask?
What was his job in the war?
What was his job? Ask him what his job was.
was your job in the war?
What was your job in the war?
I was a medic, a combat medic.
What's that? Ask him what that is.
I helped the soldiers when they got shot, or when they fell, or they got cut. Pop-Pop had to help them.
So he'd get them healthy again. He'd help save them.
He had a very important job.
Did I get him?
Said he had a very important job.
Amelia, come here. I got a question to ask him. Ask him if he had a monkey in the war.
Did you have a monkey in the war?
Did you have a monkey in the war?
Yeah, I didn't have the monkey, my buddy did. He had a monkey and it was a pet. And one night over there, we had to go to the movies, and he left his girlfriend's picture on the cot that he was sleeping on. And when we came back, the monkey tore the picture all apart. So he took the monkey down to the river and he threw her in the river.
Oh my gosh.
That's the end of it.
He tore his cigarettes up too. The monkey tore up all Backer's cigarettes too.
Oh yeah, the
But
cigarette.
the monkey kept climbing out of the river up to the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask him if he had to go to the Panama Canal.
What?
Ask him if he had to go to the Panama Canal.
Yeah, ask him.
Tell her about the Panama Canal.
Oh.
The Panama Canal.
Yeah, we had to go through the Panama Canal, and we went all the way from the Atlantic Ocean over to the Pacific Ocean, and then we went across in the Pacific Ocean. We crossed the equator, and the ship we were on broke down. We had to go back to the Panama Canal and through it to the East Coast and get out there, and they had to fix that. Then we had to get back on it and get back over to the Pacific. It took us 66 days on that ship
Oh my gosh.
to get from New York City to what was the name of that New Guinea, to New Guinea,
Holy moly.
Port Moresby.
Boy, I wouldn't want to have to use
And
those
Grandma
bags.
was waiting for a letter from Pop because he left, when he left to go overseas, right after we were married, I didn't hear from him for 4 months. And I would write every day. I'd write a letter. It writes a couple pages every day. And then when I got his address, I sent the letter. And one of the men that was in his platoon was a cartoonist, and he he drew a cartoon of Pop reading the letter from his new bride. And it was a big long letter all down around the floor and everything. Now that's
Ask them if
where
they
you
still have the
probably
letters.
don't even remember.
I don't remember that. No.
Ask if they still have the letters.
Well, we don't have that.
I was just gonna say,
You gonna ask what?
Yeah, yes,
who
now
was
you
the
know
Well,
that
she was.
it would be, you know? But
Wow,
that was, he
that's
drew
You're
the
recording that, so-
cartoon. It showed him reading the letter, you know, and the letter
So-
goes down a big.
So did you keep the letters?
I didn't, and I don't know why. It got lost. After all these years, it got lost.
Pop, did you keep your letters?
What?
Did you keep your
Did you
letters?
keep your letters?
He kept some of them.
No, I couldn't. If I kept my letters, I'd have to have another bag on my shoulder to carry them.
In fact, Pop, half of the time, Pop didn't even have any stationery, any paper to write on. He would write on the back of my letters and turn the envelopes inside out and send them back to me.
Yeah.
Because he didn't need a stamp, he'd just put free on it. But he'd write on the back of letters or something, because he didn't have any stationery.
Were the paper, was the paper that real thin paper in those days? Or
Mommy.
am I thinking?
Well, I guess it could
It's like,
be.
not like onion skin, but it was really
Yeah.
much thinner because it would have weighed so much.
Yeah,
They made
because
it-
everything
yeah.
had to go airmail,
Yeah.
you know, I guess.
So I tear the envelope that she had, I turn that inside out, and I close it with adhesive tape. The medics had adhesive tape, so I could. That's how I closed it. And marked free in the corner.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a couple of letters.
Yeah, I thought I remember.
Yeah, we have a couple letters.
Yeah. Not many. but a
Not
couple.
many though, no. Dad, Pop didn't want to keep anything.
I don't-
When he got out of the service,
Memories, I don't.
he
Those
didn't
memories,
wanna
I don't
keep-
want to know.
He
about
didn't
that.
want to keep anything. He said, no, he said, I don't even want them to have any information or anything.
No.
He said, I don't want them to call me back.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back
I
there.
hated it. I hated every minute.
Grandma, do you remember what you write it on the notes?
What did you write in the letters to Pop Pop?
Well, I would just write and tell him what I did, what I would do on a daily basis. And
Didn't you work in a plant, a war plant?
yes, I worked in a defense plant, and I was inspecting machine gun belt links, the links that they would put the bullets through.
Yeah.
I inspected them, and then I worked a punch press in the machine shop.
And didn't Poppy work in that same? Did he work in that?
Yeah,
same?
my daddy worked in that defense plant. He was more like maintenance, I think, more than anything.
But they
And
said
then in October 1st, I had your 90. Your 90 was born, and
October 2nd.
October 2nd. Is that, what did I
You
say?
said October 1st.
Oh,
I was thinking, well, that's new. You live long enough and you learn new things about yourself.
Video game thing.
June 1st. I'm so used to saying June 1st. October 2nd, your 90 was born. So then every letter was about your 90. It was always, she's so cute. I wish you could see her. She's so cute.
Was that a surprise? Was that a surprise? Did you know that you were gonna have a?
He didn't know when he went overseas. He didn't. Well, we didn't.
6
when-
weeks,
No,
after 6 weeks,
yeah,
right?
because we were married November 27, and he went overseas February 6th. So that's like 2 months.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that we didn't know that I was.
Right,
that I was pregnant.
Right.
And I mean, and I
In those
didn't-
days, you didn't know what the baby was before it was born.
No, and he didn't hear from me, and I didn't hear from him for 4 months. So,
Right.
I mean, I was already 5 or 6 months before he knew I was pregnant.
Grandma, do you remember what you did with 90 when she was a baby?
When she was a baby. Oh, she was such a cute little baby. I loved her so much. And I remember one night in particular when we were having a thunderstorm.
Make it straight tonight.
And I put your 90 up to bed. She was just a little baby, and I put her up to bed. And all of a sudden, we got this thunderstorm. I was so scared for my little girl, my little baby. I ran upstairs and I was kneeling on the floor beside her crib with both my hands in the crib, protecting her. And there was a big crash, I mean, this is so vivid in my imagination.
Yeah.
And there was a big crash. And I remember I had a sour taste in my mouth when that happened. I thought,
Yeah.
oh, please don't hurt my baby.
Because you didn't know whether my daddy was alive or not at that point.
Oh,
You didn't know
no,
if he had been
I
searched.
never knew from day to day.
Right, so. It was
But
one of those-
there was the lightning struck the chimney in the house across the street.
Wow.
That's what
Wow.
that big crash was.
So
That's
you must
why.
have had a premonition.
Yeah, the fire engines came down and everything, but I was so scared.
Yeah.
Did you send a picture? Did you send a picture of your baby over to?
Oh yes, I sent several pictures. Yeah. Whenever, I mean, of course, remember it was different then. Taking pictures were different. You
I
took
know
pictures with the camera.
I know a story. I remember a story about a picture that Mom sent over to you, and somebody made a crack about the picture. What did they say it looked like?
Like a Japanese airplane that was
That's-
crashed.
They said that about the picture of you.
She sent the picture over to me, and I made a copy of the picture. I had somebody make a copy of the picture for me over there. And
It
I
wasn't
sent,
that clear.
I was sending a copy of it back to her to show her that what I had done to the I had the original. Now this was a copy, and I put it in my the envelope along with the letter. And the guy, the censor, he tore it out. He wouldn't let me send it because it looked like a Japanese Arab warship or something like that. Playing
Picture of the baby
airplanes.
did.
The copy that he had made,
The copy looked of that.
the copy of the picture that he had made.
Yeah.
It is. That's
So that really, needless to say, that really aggravated my father.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, that made me mad.
Yeah, everything was censored.
Yeah.
But did they send that back to you then? That's how you found out about it?
What?
Well, it was just the guy there
Before it left the
before it
island.
even left.
Uh-huh.
It never left the island. He tore it up. He wouldn't send it.
But did so he came and told you why he couldn't do it, why you couldn't send it.
How did you find out?
How did
that
you
he-
find out?
that he censored it?
Excuse me,
I found
Grandma.
out that when she told me, where's the picture? The picture wasn't there.
So then you inquired.
Yeah, and I required, and he said, well, I'm going to send that. That looked like a Japanese airplane in that.
Ridiculous.
He was only a doctor.
Well, he probably had had a few
He was only a
drinks.
doctor. He wasn't. And,
Yeah. He had probably had a few drinks too,
yeah,
Daddy.
he.
Go ahead.
No, I remember vaguely. I remember that story.
Yeah.
I didn't know exactly what it meant or what. I thought maybe one guy was joking with you and said that, and that aggravated you. I didn't.
Another question. Next question.
Why didn't you like chocolates?
Ah, that's
Why
a good
didn't
one.
you like chocolate?
Well, we used to do chocolate bars when we would go on patrol. And the chocolate bar was in 3 sections: breakfast, lunch, and supper. There was enough vitamins and stuff in there to last us. There's 3 meals a day. And well, we'd go out, and we'd be out on patrol, and we'd be hungry. Well, we'd eat 4 or 5 bars for a meal. And it got so that I hated chocolate because we were eating so much chocolate. So from then on, I cannot stomach it. My throat feels bad now because I'm talking about chocolate.
You know, it's funny how that affects you, but it's the same way when I was pregnant, and there were certain things that made me nauseous, and certain songs that I would hear, like when I was pregnant with Ronnie, and Judy would play McNamara's Band. We had that, and she'd play that record over and over, and that was when I was sick from. And do you know, when I hear McNamara's Band now, I feel nauseous. I get that same feel. Isn't that strange? I mean,
it's
that's how
not.
your mind works.
No, it is. Yeah, I mean, it isn't strange, really. But it's funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. I can. You know what I have? If I hear that song, it was from a commercial that was played for some particular show that would come on, say, at 8:00 every Sunday night when I was in 4th grade, and it was a Cammy commercial.